Situated halfway up Highgate Hill is a renowned Cromwell Da Costa House, which is home to the Ghana High Commission UK.
We, as the pay setters of Africa, the Black Star of Africa, we needed to have the best of facilities. That was my primary reason for doing it. The second reason, which is important but not as important as this first one, was that the place had been abandoned for a very long period of time. We had violated all kinds of council regulations, and the council had threatened to sue us. And we did not want a situation where a whole country like Ghana was being sued because of neglect of such a historic building. The third issue was that we wanted our brothers and sisters, visitors to Ghana, friends of Ghana who come to do business, to see, the best of our facilities. We wanted to move into the electronic age. What the facility we had at the present time was not conducive. It was, totally obsolete. We could not provide a kind of effective, efficient, and expeditious service that we wanted to offer.
Cromwell House was built in 1637 by Sir Robert Sprignell. The family was present during the reign of Charles I. Sir Robert's son sold the house and its 19A estate separately in 1664. The Mendes Da Costa family, physicians to King Charles II, purchased Cromwell House on Highgate Hill in 1675. In 1868, the governors of the Hospital for Sick Children had long realized that some patients were being readmitted to the wards soon after discharge as their home circumstances mitigated against recovery. After months of searching for a new rest home, the governors settled on Cromwell House. Cromwell House continued to operate as a children's hospice until early 1920s, when it became clear that the old mansion was no longer suitable for long-term convalescent care. This was because metropolitan London had crept up Highgate Hill, enveloping the house and garden in pollution and traffic noise. In 1980, Cromwell House was redeveloped into a 3-story office accommodation and named Da Costa House after the property's previous owners, Mendes Da Costa.
In 1990, it was during the time of His Excellency Dr. Joseph Leo Sir Abbey, when the property was bought. We actually moved into the property in 1991 in May, and since then it took about 15 years before we had a fair, kind of maintenance, and these had to be the Commonwealth property. The Highgate property is made up of two buildings, which is the Commonwealth and the Da Costa House. The Commonwealth property, we did some what we call the reconstruction, maybe fixing some cracks in the building, consolidating the foundation of the building. This is what we did in 2005. It took 15 years for that thing to happen. And then Da Costa also, had his share, which is a redevelopment, actually, like virtually putting up a new building, because we had left it for 22 years before any renovation could be done. So definitely we need a major kind of work to be done on it, and this is what we did.
The reason for the refurbishment work, aside the fact that the property was run down and needed urgent repairs, was that the floor space had become insufficient for the mission's needs. The architect's survey report showed the possibility to remodel the available floor space to allow more offices in the property. The most promising was the possibility to extend the waiting area into the adjoining terrace area to guarantee a waiting room that can seat between 120 to 150 customers at a time, as compared to the previous 50-seater capacity waiting area.
This is a listed building. It has a lot of history. It was built with all kinds of materials that can no longer be found. And so getting the approvals and negotiating with the Historical Society and the other officials of the city was a problem. But fortunately, they all worked with us. They accommodated us. They agreed with us in terms of what we can and could not do. And so finally, we were able to strike some compromises that the final analysis we've been able to do what we set out to do.
The refurbishment works for the Costa House commenced on the 1st of March 2011. The construction company that was assigned the challenge of remodeling the old passport office from a derelict to a quality finished, highly modernized office building was More Care Maintenance Limited, led by their manager Shivji Hirani. Shivji and team undertook major demolition and clearance of internal structural works, which included windows and doors, roof timber works, electrics, plumbing, lifts, stairs, heating system and internal walls.
At one time we had more than 30, each of them specializing on a particular project, i.e. could be electrical, sound systems, flooring, plastering, air conditioning layouts, heating and cooling, cross flow of air, so 30 and as required.
Mr. Kobi Mensah Kuma, the director of Kuma Environmental Design Limited, a UK-based architectural and development consultant, was responsible for the designs and overseeing the refurbishment works, as well as consulting on behalf of the mission for all planning applications required for the project. Although the building's refurbishment scheme was being implemented to offer a friendly environment for the public who visited the mission daily to apply for Ghanaian visas and passports, as well as other welfare services, a conducive work environment was being sought overall for the staff of the Ghana High Commission. Unfortunately, there were many hurdles to cross before the work began.
This particular project was looked at over 4 years ago, and because no maintenance was ever carried out, a lot of items had deteriorated, i.e. windows, roofs, roof structures, air conditioning. These were all brought in to future-proof and help with the cost of running the air conditioning and heating system. All these ideas were brought forward, but because they were not originally costed, we had to seek permission, or the Ghana High Commission had to seek approval from Accra, which took a long time, and all this obviously delays in the progress of the work, because each work cannot be carried out, it has all got to be carried out in conjunction with each other, so the work has to flow with these decisions, and these decisions unfortunately took so long to come, and this is what caused the delays. In fact, the delays, at one time we were ready to give up on the whole project, but because of the faith mission has placed on us, I said we are not going to let anybody down, but I just said we have to deliver regardless. So we've delivered, and it's a baby, which I hope the mission will look after.
No project can go on without financial resource. And so the first challenge we had to deal with was how to be able to fund this project. Yes, the entire management of the mission noticed the importance of the project, and we felt that if we were to be able to carry out the project, we needed sufficient funding. Although we had had approvals from Ghana, all right, what the approval lacked was the source of funding. And so we had to come out with some good proposals to be able to get the funding to fund the project.
The last major challenge we faced was the positioning of the air conditioning unit, which, as you know, became a tug of war between the High Commission and the community. But finally, they've granted us the approval to keep it where it is. So I'm very happy, I'm very grateful, so that at the commissioning I will hope that the community and the leadership of the Historical Society would all be invited to come and see that one, we've improved the area, we've raised the values of the homes. The homes, I'm sure, around the facility have appreciated quite a bit. And they're also happy to see that we've brightened that whole area with such a huge new facility. So it was difficult, but I'm happy that it was done.
Today, the newly refurbished Da Costa House has been kitted with the state-of-the-art equipment, transforming the building from an almost derelict to an energy-efficient building with an improved disabled access, making the building DDA compliant.
We've also made it handicap-friendly. People who use wheelchairs can easily come in. The walkways are there, the ramps are there. We have sizable restrooms that can accommodate both strollers and wheelchairs. We do also have, we've increased the number of kiosks and windows, and we've also created a space where we call it maybe cloakroom or whatever, where people can come in and leave items. We made the rooms all air conditioned. They are customer friendly, whether it's hot or cold or warm. The temperature can be adjusted to suit everybody's likes. The lighting is very, very modern, but most importantly, the electronic equipment facilitates easy and friendly business environment, so that anybody who comes there would be interacting with state-of-the-art kind of facility. And we want to demonstrate to the world that when we say that Ghana is the gateway to Africa, it's not that they have to come to Ghana to experience the gateway. They have to experience the gateway right here in London before they set off to go to Ghana.
The work was finally completed in June 2012. Moving into the newly refurbished building will be the mission's consular section. The consular section, in preparation for their move, has worked on improving their processes over the past 2 years.
Ghana High Commission is not on its own island. It's working within an environment where other missions are providing certain services to its clientele. And Ghana High Commission had to follow the status quo. We couldn't be left behind.
You will realize that there is quite enough space, and we will have the visa section, visa application section, passport application section. The treasury will join us there because they collect the daily revenue that goes with the processing of visas and passport applications. One of our officers who handles education, so education will move there, and we have created also a separate room where we will handle other documents like birth certificates, authentication, marriages, documents, and there is also a section meant for our archives. We expect that with the redevelopment, our compatriots will see a better working environment now. There is more space. You can see in the hall there we have about 200 chairs that are coming in. So our compatriots who normally will come and will rather queue onto the road this time will be in the reception.
This is indeed a big change from the way things had been. This is a big change from even the way most consular offices are run in London itself, because I've visited quite a number of them, both in consular offices belonging to the developing world and to the developed world. And what we had planned to do was really to achieve a level of excellence way and above our own current requirements. So that experience itself has been overwhelming, and we've managed to put that together.
Working with the UK-based Ghanaian-owned IT consultancy firm EMH IT Services Limited, the mission have developed a system which allows applicants to apply for Ghanaian visas and passports online 24 hours a day.
In those times, we're having a lot of complaints, from the public, why we continue to do things manually when we are in this kind of environment where all other missions have gone ahead using IT to transact business. We were still doing manual things. So eventually we thought that this project was going to deal with this kind of nightmare we had to go through. And indeed it has dealt with it. We no longer have cash problems where people would come and give us counterfeits, because all the monies at the press of a button are taken from the person's card and they are taken to the bank account straight away. We do not have problems with counting monies to be sure that the monies are either up or not. So all those problems are over. At least it gives me the confidence that all the monies that are paid, everything goes into the mission's bank account.
We contracted the company to provide customer service, professional customer service for our folks. We are going to do it again. We want to make sure that all the folks, I know that not everybody who is currently employed there went through that orientation. We have some new faces. Some of the old faces have also left. So we will do it again.
A dedicated customer service line has also been introduced. Applicants can now reach the mission's customer service team via telephone, email, or live chat online. To minimize the need to call, the online system notifies applicants via SMS messaging and email to update them on the status of the application. Over the past 12 months, the Ghana High Commission Customer Service team has dealt with approximately 30,000 inquiries via phone, email, and live chat communications. Another major achievement of the consular section is the ongoing move to archive electronically old applications dating back 10 years. The process, once completed, will mean applicants' data can be retrieved instantly when required, instead of the situation in the past when retrieving filed applicants' data took several days.
We are getting additional professional care individuals who would be properly orientated in terms of how to use the equipment, even how to clean the furniture and the other pieces of equipment we have in there. When I leave here, I intend to leave extended, quite extensive handing over notes, so that whoever comes after me would take on, from where I leave off.
This is a tailor-made construction, so we really did this with the clients in mind. We did this taking into account customer feedback and also our own projections. Once you do something in a customized manner, really, you know you meet the satisfaction of your patrons. And as I mentioned earlier on, I have visited quite a lot of consular outfits within the UK, and I have no shadow of doubt in my mind that this will be one of the best. From the quality of furniture that we have used, to the controlled ventilation, to new and cutting-edge technologies that we've tapped into. It will be really a big surprise if we have complaints in that area. So I'm quite confident that this will really stand the test of time.
I requested that files be created for each of the pieces of equipment we have in there, so that we know who the companies are. We would adhere to the maintenance schedules that are given us. We're going to follow these religiously, so that we don't spend unnecessary amount of time on breakdowns and malfunctioning and so on and so forth. So we are very serious with it. At least this is what I am saying. I hope that my successors would also do the same thing.